Oh God, it's disgusting. Oh my goodness. To say there's tension in the air would be a massive understatement. Like, oh my goodness, everything's a mess. For a slight moment, I thought it was nighttime, but then I remembered that we basically walled up the room with black art paper, I guess. But oh my goodness, everything's such a mess. It's disgusting to look at. There's a silence in the room, made worse by the sense of awkwardness. No one knows what to say. No one expected the festival to end this way, and the impact is hitting us all. So, that could have gone better. My attempt at humor falls flat, and I immediately regret speaking. That wasn't supposed to be funny. Natsuki gives me a dirty look, but Sayuri smiles wanly. Meanwhile, it looks like Monika's face has finally fallen. No one can hold the smile for that long, especially after a disaster like this. I don't understand. Where did we go so wrong, guys? We spent so long preparing for this, and after all our efforts, for the first time, that outgoing confidence Monica always seemed to radiate has snuffed out. She clearly cared a lot about this event, and I feel awful for her. I know. I don't get it either. I thought you guys were all such a good job. Sorry. I thought you guys all did such a good job as well. The decorations, the recitals. I'm sorry, Monica. Don't worry about it, Midas. It's not like it's your fault anyway. She smiles weakly at me, glancing around. I notice that Yuri and Natsuki seem particularly upset, with Yuri looking noticeably dejected and Natsuki steaming mad. Hey, this is your fault, Monica. I told you this was a stupid idea. Oh no. Is the club gonna dissolve? None of us were even that comfortable with doing this in the first place. Now look where it's landed us. Excuse me? My fault? You all agreed to this. Pardon me for thinking it would actually go well. What's so wrong about that? The music is definitely depressing, unfitting. We only agreed to do it because we felt like you were forcing us. I was really hoping this wouldn't happen. Given everyone's low moods, an argument is the last thing we need. I didn't force anyone, Natsuki. You know how much this club means to me. I was just excited to show what we have to the rest of the school. Yeah, but that was such a good idea, wasn't it? I'm really starting to get sick of your constant sarcasm, you know. Why can't you just try being positive for once in your life? Gee, it's funny you should say that, because I'm really starting to get sick of your self-righteous, know-it-all attitude. We all know this was a bad idea, but no! You just had to insist on this, even though no one was happy with it. This was for all reason. Look how much Midas enjoys it here. Oh my goodness. Is it really is it really so unreasonable to think that we could have found someone else like him? Or is it just too positive for you to even fathom? This is awful. The other students were bad enough, but now Monica and Natsuki are going for each other's throats? Look at how badly everyone is humiliated. How inconsiderate are all of those. Those. She struggles for a moment, her anger inhibiting her ability to speak. Those assholes were to all of us. Oh my goodness, the student's mad. They didn't give a damn about anything we had to say. What did that prick say? He was only here for the food? All of that hard work just for that? Nothing? She angrily kicks one of the desks. The loud sound jolts Yuri, who was looking up with tears in her eyes. Oh my goodness. But please, Natsuki, can you calm down? Don't tell me you're taking her side, Yuri. You had to experience the worst of it. I don't know why you're not bad either. Nanatsuki, there's no point being angry at Monica. She didn't want this to happen. She had no idea people would react this way. It's bad enough those students were rude, and I really don't like fighting inside the club itself. Yeah, What if Monica just listened to us when we said we weren't comfortable with this whole idea? This would have never happened. Monica sighs. This kind of conflict she really generally leaves for Sayori to deal with. But in this case, Sayori looks too distraught to intervene. Look, what you're not understanding is that sometimes you just have to take risks. Sure, it didn't go so well, but there's always a chance it wouldn't have ended like this, and we could have had new members. She turns to me. I mean, you of all people can understand that the best, right, Midas? You made the choice to come here. Look how much you enjoyed it. Oh, don't try and suck it up to him, Monica. Face it, you never listen to us. You're club members, or take our opinions into account. Tell me you're not alone in thinking that, Midas. Or I'm not alone in thinking that, Midas. Oh, great. Now I have to choose a side. I really don't want to do this. I desperately looked at Yuri and Sayori, but both looked too upset to want to get involved. Well, obviously I'm going for Monica. I mean, I don't want the club to end. And plus, she did ask for our opinion on it. So, Monica it is. Something tells me that this is going to make me very unpopular with Natsuki. I brace myself for what's going to come next. So is Natsuki going to basically be the main antagonist while we're here in the club room from now on? Natsuki, come on. You know better than I do that Monica loves this club. It's only natural she'd want to share it with the rest of the school. Ugh. Seriously? You're actually taking her side? I can't believe this. No, it's not that. I'm not taking her side. It's just... Just what? That's exactly what you're trying to do, Midas. Don't try and backpedal. Natsuki, that's not what he's trying to say. He's just... Oh, of course, you're jumping to his aid. Shut up, Monica. Monica looks furious, and for a moment I think Natsuki has finally gone too far. She closes her eyes and takes a deep breath, evidently trying to contain her anger. Jeez, Natsuki, don't you think that was a little out of order? You didn't have to shout at her. What do you know? You haven't been here for 5 days. Why is everyone making me out to be the bad guy here? Because you basically are. You're basically acting like a total beehole right now. Remember when Monica said that she made sure people weren't going to be rude during our performances? Wow, congratulations. She sure did a fantastic job with that. I mean, it's not like anyone wolf whistled at Yuri or anything. It wasn't. Some enforcer you were. Her bitter, sarcastic continues on. Tirade, sorry. How did I pronounce that as triad? Oh my goodness. I better take some sleep. Each point worsening the atmosphere. I'm the only one who can see this for what it is. It's just Monica is trying to use this club to boost her popularity. And it sickens me. You think we're all just, what, some sort of pawns for you? Explain why you didn't consider how reluctant we all were to do this, or why you will let everyone just walk all over us. Natsuki, you're just being ridiculous now. Why would I want to hurt all of us? It's not exactly been easy for me either. Natsuki lets out a snort of derision. I don't know. You? What do you, of all people, know about life being hard? Monica blinks, looking like she's been slapped. It's easy for you, Monica, with your role as the queen of the school. Everyone's liking you, all that crap. You have such a perfect life and all, having to defend your interests. Never having to defend your interests, I'm sorry. Never having anyone ridicule for the things you like. I share classes with those assholes, you know? Oh no. Yikes, so the prick from a while ago is not his classmate? Yikes. And you can bet they're gonna have a lot of fun telling everyone else about how much of a loser we all are. And guess what? It's all because of you. I can practically hear the venom dripping from her words at this point. It's absolutely horrible. Face it, Sayuri would have been a pet. Oh no. That was a cut too deep, Natsuki. Sayuri would have been a better president than you could ever be. And with that, a sickening silence falls onto the room once more. But this time, it's a million times worse. Oh no. The fire in Natsuki's eyes is blazing and quiet sobs can be heard from Yuri. Sayuri is miserably hugging herself, completely lost for words. Ha ha ha, no! You can't do this! Is the sad and depressing end going to be this early? Monica is wearing a stony expression on her face, looking both enraged and heartbroken. The whole club waits for her reply to the bombshell Natsuki just dropped on her. Oh, oh no. But without a word, Monica turns her heel and walks out of the door, the impact of Natsuki's words hanging in the air behind her. No one knows what to say. For a few moments, the heavy silence remains. We all exchange looks. Yuri is sneakily wiping her tears on her sleeve, and Sayuri is standing around awkwardly. Natsuki, on the other hand, is refusing to meet anyone's gaze. She looks like she's regretting her words a little bit. You better regret a lot, because those words cut deeper than Yuri's knife. Guys? Oh, please, can we make sure this never happens again? It was awful. That was a horrible experience to say the least. Without Monica to restore order and keep things going, the club suddenly feels very aimless and disorganized. Natsuki, I know you're angry, but can you please find Monica and apologize? Where's Monica? But, please, I know you're feeling a little guilty over what you said. After all, you were a bit mean. What do you mean a bit mean? She basically ripped Monica to shreds. Natsuki grumbles something under her breath. That's okay. I'll go find Monica. No offense, Natsuki, but I don't think she'd particularly want to see you right now. I wince as the words leave my mouth. There's probably a more diplomatic way of saying it. Natsuki glares at me. Fine. As I turn to leave, I silently motion to Yuri and Sayuri to try and talk to Natsuki. Sayuri nods and Yuri nervously swallows. This festival, it's quite long and very, very depressing. Now, where would Monica go? She would probably want somewhere quiet where she could be by herself, right? My best and probably the worst guess I have would be her room, the Monica room, which rules out the classrooms. Okay, the courtyard and the cafeteria. The only two places coming out to mind are the girls' toilets or the rooftop. But I'm hoping it isn't the girls' toilets, or else we'll be nicely said dejected from school. Dejected or expelled? Is dejected the same from expelled? I don't know. I make my way over to the staircase that leads up the top, thinking about how this conversation is going to go. Will she even want to talk to me? She didn't even say anything as she left. Was she that upset? Although given what Natsuki said, I really wouldn't blame Monica. Guess there's only one way to find out. There's a door at the top of the stairs which opens out to the rooftop. A small, but really, I want to commend that they have multiple CGs? That's the right term, right? Or backgrounds. I'm just gonna call them backgrounds. I'm happy they have multiple backgrounds. I'm hoping that they get to use more of these. Bracing myself, I put my hand on the cold steel door handle and push the door open. Man, the view up here is really something. I shiver as the wind cuts through my blazer. It's a cold and desolate place, a fitting setting for what just happened. I look around and there she is, leaning slightly over the bars at the edge of the rooftop, face turned away from me. Not a peep sounds from her, not even when the wind slams the door behind me closed. Monica? No answer. I slowly approach her, making as little noise as possible in some illogical attempt to not scare her away. You, look pretty upset, so I'd come to find you. I thought to find you, I mean. I trail off, mentally berating myself at how weak that must have sounded. She stays completely still as I sidle up to her side, leaning on the railing so that I can see her face. I don't know what I expected, but her expression is oddly calm? Oddly calm. What could that mean? Monica. Beautiful view, isn't it? Yeah, you could say that. Is there a reason you came up here? It's part of it. On days like this, the wind and the eternally stretching blue sky make me feel like I can go anywhere. It feels freeing. There's something comforting in the possibility of getting swallowed up by that blue. What does that mean? Being able to simultaneously take control and lose control. Monica, well, I know you're obviously not okay, but I'm not asking if you're okay to know if you're okay. I'm going to ask if you're okay so that you can choose to talk to me about whatever you want to give you an opportunity to open up. So are you okay? Well, this will probably be the most exposure Monica is going to have in this mod, considering that she doesn't have a route. A thin smile appears on her face. Progress? That's sweet of you, Midas. To be honest, I didn't expect you to have any tact at all. Me neither. Did you expect that I'd be crying up here? Contemplating suicide or something? Yikes. You never see suicide and think that that's normal in a Doki Doki mod. But it's normal because Sayuri does it, but you get what I mean, it's gonna be sad. Don't worry, I wouldn't do it just because of that festival. Well, I wouldn't blame you if you wanted to cry it out. You know, I actually thought that I would cry at first, but maybe I'm all cried out of tears. I guess I've come to terms with all things that Natsuki said already. She said such weighty words so casually. What Natsuki said wasn't true, Monica. I think that you're a fantastic president. I hasten to try to give less empty words after she arches an eyebrow at me. And I'm not just saying that to cheer you up either. Remember what I said to you before the festival? During your little pep talk? She faintly nods. And I'm going to reiterate that anyway because it's important you're aware of how much I mean it. Thank you for everything. You took me in when I really needed it. Remember how I said earlier that I've been feeling lonely? She nods again. Well, that's how things have been for me recently. I haven't seen much of my parents lately, and most of the days I spend alone. All of that changed when I joined your club. You were all so friendly and welcoming. Not once did you ever turn away because I wasn't a poet. I mean, between you and me, I know my poems weren't the greatest. Heh, you have a lot of potential, Midas. I did like your poems. Well, I'm glad you think so. But anyway, that's beside the point. You accepted me for who I was, and was always willing to help me. And more importantly, we've created something that three other girls hold dear to their hearts. Definitely a sign of a good president, if you ask me. Monica looks down for a moment as if composing herself, and then meets my eyes with a smile. Thank you, Midas. It really means a lot. Like I said earlier, hearing all of this from a newcomer really does make me believe I've hit my goals I set for myself. I hit the goals I set for myself, I'm sorry. All I wanted was to create a little haven that people could call home, no matter their writing ability. Well, take it from someone who joined only a few days ago then, you've definitely succeeded. Also, had you not made this club, I would never have gotten to meet Yuri Natsuki or be able to hang out with Sayori again. Nor would I have gotten to get to know you better either, and that would have been A real shame, eh? I playfully nudge at her, receiving a nudge back. Ah, this past week has probably been the happiest I've ever been in a long, long time. And that is all thanks to you. We share a smile, one that I'm sure is completely genuine on Monica's part. I don't know what to say. It's okay. I'm serious, Monica. I just wanted to know how I felt. Anyway, Natsuki was a bit out of order with her words, but honestly, I don't think she meant it. I guess tensions were running really high, and you know better than I do how fiery she can be. Yeah, I know she was just really upset, but hearing those words, it hits pretty deep, you know? I tried telling myself not to take her words to heart, but I knew she was just upset. But that last line about Sayori being a better president, I don't know why that got under my skin so much. It was in spite, Monica. People say awful things when they don't mean when they're upset. That they don't mean when they're upset, I mean. Sayori and Yuri are probably talking to her now, and I get the feeling she wants to apologize, but she doesn't know how to. Well, that's definitely not something Natsuki needs to work on. By the way, thank you for making the effort to find me. It really means a lot. I'm suddenly struck by the situation I'm in. Here I am, alone, with one of the most attractive, popular girls of the year, having a heart-to-heart. Is this secretly a whole Monica route? Probably a situation most of the other guys in school would kill to be in. My face heats up a little as I process the heartfelt, rather vulnerable scene we're in. You're welcome, Monica. Nothing to thank me for. I sheepishly scratch the back of my neck. You should go and find the others, though. Don't want them to worry or anything. We stand up and make our way back to the door. I hope so. It wasn't exactly nice to have you. Oh, sorry. It wasn't exactly nice to be told you have a perfect life and that you've never experienced any difficulties. As I make our way back to the club, I just hope Yuri and Sayori were able to talk some sense into Natsuki. The last thing we need is another argument. She's silent as we wordlessly make our way back to the classroom. We finally arrive. I squeeze her shoulder as she takes a deep breath and walks in. Ah, they're back! And the room's still a mess. Yuri and Sayori hurry over to us, looking weirdly at Monica. Meanwhile, Natsuki remains standing off to the side by herself, arms folded. Hey guys, I'm alright, really. Talking sometime, oh sorry, taking some time outside helped clear my mind and I'm feeling a lot better now. Not to mention Midas was a real help too. I'm relieved. That was a frightening prospect to consider losing our club president. Yeah, and now that everyone's calmed down, we can talk things out. Natsuki, why don't you come join us? Fine. She drags her feet and makes her way over to us. I notice Monica's fidgeting with the hem of her skirt, and smile reassuring at her. Okay, so I'm here. Natsuki's eyes dart up to Monica's for just a second. So, there's an awkward silence as Natsuki's voice trails away. Sayori raises her eyebrows at her, causing the smaller girl to return with a glare. I think what Natsuki is trying to say is that she just said all those things in the heart of the moment. A crime of passion, as it were. Hey, geez, I can speak for myself, okay? She says that, but alright, I'm just gonna get this over with. What I wanted to say was that I didn't mean when I said that you were a bad president. I mean, I guess it's pretty clear that you care a lot about the club. Sayori nods vigorously at her, egging her on. I guess that those jerks just pissed me off so much that I blurted out random things and needed to vent. Well, I won't lie, it does seem like you always get special treatment because you were always so popular, Monica. But then again, I wouldn't know what you have to go through. You're on a totally different level from the rest of us, Natsuki. Anyway, that's all I guess. I've always seen you as a friend, And I hope you'll still be able to see me as one too. There's tension in the air once again as we anxiously wait for Monica's response. Natsuki shifts back and forth on her feet, looking like she almost wants to run away from the scene. Thank you for saying that, but I'm not going to lie either. Your comment doubting my presidency hurts. It's definitely not true though. You're a great president, Monica. Yeah, you brought us all together. Without you, we wouldn't have become friends. And it wouldn't have been able to be sorry. Oh my goodness. And I wouldn't have been introduced to the world of poetry. I agree. It's an amazing feeling to be able to talk to like-minded individuals. Yeah, as far as presidents go, we could definitely do worse. And so what if he nudged us into the festival? I guess it's only normal for the president of all people to want the club to grow. Haha, thanks guys. I guess all after that, I have no choice but to accept Natsuki's apology, eh? I mean, it would be really great if you could. That's certainly an understatement. We all turned to look at Yuri, surprised at the glimpse of a humorous side to her. Did I say something strange? Oh, Yuri, you're so funny. Eh? I let out a breath I'd been subconsciously holding. It seems like everything's turned around in the end, or at least as well as they can, given the circumstances. Okay, everyone. And with that catchphrase, everything seems alright in the world once again. I totally forgot to mention this, that you still need to clean up. I'm sure that with all of us working together though, it won't take that long to do. I'm assuming everyone's just going to skip the festival and go home after this. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty tired after all the stuff that just happened. And with that nervous look, something bad might just happen. As am I. Same here. I wish I could leave too, but I have a shift in my class's cafe after this. It's alright though. Everyone get moving then so that you can all go home. Wait, I do hope we get to see Monica in her cafe. Everyone starts cleaning up the room, myself included. Yuri and Natsuki start packing up the essential oil setup and cupcake trays respectively. Meanwhile, Sayori, Monica, and I pick up everything left on the ground and desks. It's like we're erasing all the trace of the festival ever happened in here. Although, I can't help but think that there's still lingering tension in the air, despite Monica's cheering expression. Well, wounds take a long time to heal, and with this deep of a wound, it's never gonna heal that quickly. I have a feeling that Monica might just be putting the club before herself in this case. But the only thing I can do now is hope that everyone will feel better tomorrow. It'll be pretty nice to go home from school early for a change and be able to relax. Although now that I think about it, I really only have anime and video games to look forward to. Does that mean that we're going to stay at school? I guess that everything that's happened today is going to be plaguing my mind tonight.